Hey, Queens, do you want to know how to create polarity with a younger man or a guy the same age as you? How to maintain that attraction throughout the years? How to maintain the passion similar to when you were in the honeymoon stage? If this is you, then keep on watching. I'm also going to tell you throughout the video how all of these polarity principles apply to any man of any age. Why is that? Because polarity and feminine energy, masculine energy are just part of our human nature. So it's the exact same thing with any man, except for one big little caveat. And that is the amount of effort and the amount of consciousness it will require on your part. So when you know how in my videos and in my practice, I tell you to go for a guy that is younger or older than you, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years older than you. Why? Because it will allow for natural polarity. It will be more effortless. It will happen without you having to think about it all the time. So this is where the trick comes, right? Because all of these principles, when they don't happen naturally, it's so much easier said than done. These are simple principles that sound very silly, if you will, and you might actually think you are mastering them when you're not. So much so that you might find yourself in, kind of bored, kind of unspiced, kind of like the relationship is bland at this point in time because you're not really embodying this, you're not really practicing, perhaps, right? So this video will invite you to do a lot of introspection and amp up your consciousness and your effort for quite some time, potentially, until you can embody it, right? If you're not a natural at it. So speaking of natural, I'll tell you that it's totally possible to have polarity and maintain it throughout the years with a younger guy, with a guy your age. I know it because my own parents, and I'm Mexican, I'm born and raised in Mexico. My parents are Mexican. They've been married for 44 years, and it's probably the marriage with some of the highest polarity I've ever seen. So that means that they're highly attracted to each other, even after all the years. Even after 44 whatever years of marriage, they still react to each other as if they were like dating. My dad, he still, totally takes care of my mom in the way that he always did from day one. Gives her flowers, gifts, holds her hand, takes her on dates all the time, and all that kind of stuff that couples do, in the beginning. They still do it because there was polarity, because my mom was the quintessential feminine energy woman. It was easier for her because she grew up in Mexico, where the frequency of feminine energy is still very strong, right? It's gone down with the years now, but it's still a lot higher than, in North America or in Europe or any of that. So that's how I know it's 100% possible. So she was a natural. But here's the things that you can do to, make it happen for yourself. So, number one, trust. I'm not talking about the trust of, oh, I can tell anything to my husband or whatever. I'm talking about the trust to let this man lead. The trust that without your help, without your input, you can lean back and this man can take charge. He can take care of things. He can do all the financial decisions, all the money decisions, and all the big tangible decisions in you guys' relationship without your opinion. You trust him to that extent. At the end of the day, if you don't trust the man that you are with, you don't think he's good enough, why are you even married to him? So you're going to have to sit back, lean back, and allow this man to lead and take care of you. Money. This one's a tough for all of us alpha females out there. Yeah? Because if you're in your masculine energy, not only will you feel that you have to make 50% of the decision, or that your input is needed for every financial decision, but also you have to contribute or do 50-50 or pay things. So this one's a tough one for a lot of people out there. I know there was a year or two in my life, in my marriage, where I was having issues with that, but that's a longer story. Okay. Of course, I had to sit back and take a seat, literally. Otherwise, I was going to self-destruct, right? So you trust this man enough to lead you. The topic of money is something very near and dear to men. Their foremost biological need is to provide and protect you. If he doesn't feel like you need him, he's not being fulfilled at a deep-rooted level, at a DNA core level, right? Just like when you don't feel safe, you're at a core DNA level, not okay, not fulfilled. So that's how it is for a man. He needs to feel like a man next to you, like you need him. And you're to trust him that he, without your opinion, without your help, can lead your family, and particularly the financial side of things. You are to allow him to take care of you and your family. Okay? Hopefully, you're not thinking that this would make you weak. If you're thinking this, we need to talk about what feminine energy is, because we're not equals by any means. And the more equal you are, as I have taught this before, the more equal, the more similar you are, the less polarity, the less attraction, the less magnetism there will be between you over the years once the honeymoon has passed. Okay? So what else? If you allow him to lead, it means you Don't see him as a toddler. Don't see him as some form of child, which means you don't need to control any of the things. Money things, reminders about household chores, anything you can think of, any type of control. The smallest thing, for example, sorry, the smallest things like your advice, your unsolicited advice. It feels kind of natural to you, to me, to all of us, to come up with a solution. When he's telling you about his issues, the minute you provide your advice, your unsolicited advice, this is you providing a solution to him. And providing a solution is a quintessential masculine energy trait. If a man is not solving your life, he is bringing you problems, which is literally what's happening. If he's telling you about a problem and you provide a solution, when he comes to you and vents about a problem, it's for you to listen and say, okay, oh, sorry you feel that way. Sorry this is going on. Here's a hug. As opposed to, well, why don't you do this and this and this? So I myself have a very, very strong masculine energy that has allowed me to accomplish many, many things in your life. But if I do that with my husband, you best be sure he's going to see me less as a wife, as a couple, and more as a partner. So your masculine energy, you keep it to yourself and to your own dreams and accomplishments, not to your relationship. Okay? So don't ever provide a solution to him. He is to provide solutions to you. So present to him a problem. Allow him to help you. I'll give you an example. I've never been a fan of driving. Growing up, we had drivers. We didn't need a car I didn't need a car when I was in university because I was in big cities. So I don't like driving. My husband, he loves to drive me around. So I'm like, okay, why not? So I allow him to feel more like he's protecting me or the car, whatever. I allow him to do that, drive me around. I allow him to be my chauffeur so that he can feel like he's doing things for me. That and, all other kinds of things, right? Like if I need to reach for something in a shelf, I'll say I need help. And whatever I'm worried about, I'll present it to him so that he can provide a solution to me, so that he can solve my problems, right? So you don't want to be solving his problems because all of a sudden you are the masculine. So be easy to be with. No arguing. So picking your battles, for many, it can be easier said than done. If it's not an issue that is going to decrease your equity, your health, your well-being, if it's not a huge thing, be agreeable. Don't argue, because there's nothing that kills intimacy. This whole video is about intimacy, in case you haven't noticed. Nothing kills intimacy, emotional and physical, more than you debating, combating, doing all of that stuff with your husband. You can do that with friends. You can do that with join a debate club if you need to be heard, or that kind of stuff. Join a debate club, hire someone, I don't know. But don't do that with your husband. You don't need to prove him right. You don't need to argue. Be easy to be with. Be the soft blanket he comes home to. Be that nurturing, warm energy that he needs to feel when he comes home. So what does he do for you? He does a lot of other things for you, like taking care of you and making you feel safe and making you feel like you can sit back and relax. And when you are relaxed, you can focus on your creative energy. You can focus on your own self and your own dreams and blossom in your life instead of being stressed with the stupidity and mundane things around you that don't matter. So you can sit around and enjoy the journey, enjoy being in the moment, in the present moment. So are you easy to be with? Are you providing that nurturing, life-giving energy? Creating that culture, that atmosphere in your home, which is what you bring to the table. Your energy, your vibe, your culture, all of the intangible. Yeah, so you don't bring to the table the same thing that a man brings to the table. So yeah, ladies, this work is what I focus on my one-on-one containers. As you know, I'm looking to move into courses rather than one-on-one. So I'm still taking one-on-one clients for now. That'll stop probably in the beginning, in the first quarter of next year. So if you're interested in changing your relationship around, turning that energy around, amping up the polarity, the attraction, all of that. If you feel trapped on being a breadwinner, if you feel trapped contributing for money, that kind of stuff, for sure, don't hesitate to reach out to me. So that is pretty much the gist of it, ladies. It applies to any man of any age. The big difference with the age, with the younger men, is the amount of effort and level of consciousness that it will require from you. So be ready to be on, be ready to be conscious about it, making that effort, because that's what happens when you make the choice of, someone that is same age or younger, or perhaps you're a natural. I really hope that you are in that case, right? And then it really works. So that's it for now, ladies. I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.